Hello, my friends. Welcome back to our English Learning Podcast. Today, we are going to explore the ideas from one of the most powerful books about business, creativity, and success. The book is called Rework by Jason Fried and David Heinemeier Hansson. This book will completely change the way you think about work, business, and productivity. But in this episode, you will get something more. You will not only learn the powerful ideas from this book, you will also improve your English listening skills at the same time. I will speak slowly and clearly. I will use simple English, useful vocabulary, and real-life examples. So while you are listening, you can learn new English sentences, improve your pronunciation, and discover ideas that can change the way you work and think. So, my friends, listen carefully, because these ideas may change the way you look at your work and your goals. Let's begin. Chapter 1, The New Reality. Ignore this advice. All right, my friends, now let's enter into the first big idea from the book Rework. The first lesson is about changing the way we think. The name of this idea is Ignore This Advice. Now, this may sound strange, because normally when we want to become successful, we search for advice. We listen to experts. We follow successful people. We copy what others are doing. But Jason Fried and David Heinemeier Hansson tell us something different. They say sometimes the advice that everyone follows may not be the best advice for you. Let me explain this with a simple example. Imagine you want to start a small business. You ask someone, how can I become successful? They might say, you need a big office. You need many employees. You need a lot of money. You need investors. You need to work 16 hours every day. Many people believe these things because they see big companies doing them. But Rework asks a simple question.
Do you really need all these things to create something valuable? Maybe not. Because success is not always about doing more. Sometimes success is about doing the right things. Let me say that again. Success is not always about doing more. Success is about doing what matters. Now think about this. A small creator on the internet can build an audience without a big company. A single person can create a useful app. A small team can build a successful product. Why? Because they focus on solving problems. They focus on creating value. They don't waste energy trying to look big. Now, let's connect this idea with English learning. Many English learners follow the same mistake. They think, I need a perfect grammar book first. I need to learn thousands of words before speaking. I need a teacher before I can practice. But is that always true? No. Sometimes the best way to improve is to start using English. Speak one sentence. Learn one useful phrase. Listen for 10 minutes. Small actions create progress. You don't need a perfect system to begin. You need a simple system that you can follow every day.
Now, imagine two learners. Student A says, I will start speaking English after I finish all grammar lessons. Student B says, I know I am not perfect, but I will speak for 1 minute every day. After 6 months, who will improve more? Most likely, student B, because action creates improvement. Waiting creates nothing. Now, let me give you a business example. Imagine two people want to open a restaurant. Person A spends 1 year planning. They create a huge menu, they design a perfect restaurant, they spend a lot of money before starting. Person B starts small. They create 5 good dishes, they listen to customers, they improve slowly. Who has a better chance to learn? The second person, because they are getting real feedback. They are learning from reality. This is one of the biggest messages of Rework. Stop trying to look successful. Start creating something useful. Many people spend too much time preparing. They wait for the perfect moment. But the perfect moment rarely comes.
The best way to learn is by doing. The best way to improve is by practicing. The best way to build something is by starting.
Chapter 2. Start making something. All right, my friends, now let's move to the second important lesson from the book Rework. The idea is start making something. This chapter teaches us a powerful truth. Ideas are everywhere. Many people have ideas. They think about starting a business. They think about creating a product. They think about learning a new skill. They think about changing their life. But there is one big difference between successful people and unsuccessful people. Successful people take action. They turn ideas into reality. Let's imagine a simple situation. Two friends have the same idea. They want to create an online course. Friend A spends months thinking. He creates plans, he watches videos, he researches everything, but he never starts. Friend B does something different. He creates a simple version. Maybe the first version is not perfect. Maybe some things need improvement, but he starts. After a few months, friend B has real experience. He understands what people need. He learns from mistakes, and he improves. This is the power of starting. Now, many people think, I will start when I am ready. But the problem is, most people never feel completely ready. Confidence does not come before action. Confidence comes from action. Let me say that again. Confidence does not come before action. Confidence comes after action. When you start doing something, your brain learns, I can do this. I can improve. I can become better. Now, let's connect this idea with English learning. Many students say, I will speak English when my grammar is perfect. I will practice speaking when I know more words. I will talk when I stop making mistakes. But my friends, this is a trap because mistakes are part of learning. A baby does not wait until it knows every word before speaking. It tries. It makes mistakes. It learns. English learning works the same way. You have to start. For example, imagine you learn a new sentence today. I am working on my English. Don't just memorize it. Use it. Say it. Create different sentences. I am working on my pronunciation. I am working on my speaking skills. I am working on my confidence. This is how a passive learner becomes an active learner. Now, Rework gives us another important lesson. Don't build something only in your imagination, because ideas are not valuable until you create something. A simple product is better than a perfect idea. A simple video is better than a video you never create. A simple practice routine is better than a perfect plan you never follow.
Let's take a real-life example. Imagine someone wants to start a YouTube channel. Person A says, I need the best camera. I need a perfect logo. I need expensive equipment. I need everything before starting. Person B says, I have my phone. I have an idea. I will create my first video. After 1 year, person B has learned how to speak better, how to edit better, how to understand the audience, how to improve, because he started. This is why the author says, ideas are cheap. Execution is everything. The word execution means taking an idea and making it happen. Example, I have a plan to learn English. That is an idea. I practice English for 20 minutes every day. That is execution. Now ask yourself, what idea have you been keeping inside your mind? What is something you want to start? Maybe learning English. Maybe creating content. Maybe building a skill. Maybe starting a small project. Don't wait for everything to be perfect. Start small. Learn. Improve. Grow. Vocabulary for today. Reality means the real world, not just imagination. Example, practice helps you connect English with reality. execution means doing an idea or plan. Example, good execution turns an idea into success. Perfect means without mistakes. Example, don't wait for a perfect time to start.
Chapter 3. No one likes plastic flowers. All right, my friends, now let's move to another powerful lesson from the book Rework. The idea is, no one likes plastic flowers. Now, this sentence sounds a little strange. Why are we talking about flowers? Because the author uses this as a metaphor. A metaphor means using one thing to explain another idea. A plastic flower looks beautiful. It has a nice shape, it has a nice color, but there is one problem. It is not real. It has no life. It has no natural beauty. And this is exactly what happens in business and creativity. Many people try to create something that looks impressive, but it does not have real value. Imagine someone creates a website. The website looks amazing. Beautiful colors, amazing animations, a lot of features. But when people use it, it does not solve any real problem. It is like a plastic flower. It looks good from outside, but inside there is no real value. Rework teaches us, don't focus only on appearance. Focus on usefulness. Because people don't need something that only looks good. They need something that helps them. Let's take an example. Imagine two apps. App number 1 has hundreds of features, but it is confusing. People don't know how to use it. App number 2 has only 5 features, but those features solve a real problem. Which app will people prefer? Most likely, the second one, because simplicity and usefulness create value. Now, let's connect this idea with English learning. Many learners also create plastic flowers in their learning journey. They collect grammar books, they download many apps, they save hundreds of videos, they create beautiful study plans, but they don't actually practice. Their learning looks good, but there is no real progress. Chapter 4. Start small. Now let's move to the next important lesson from the book Rework. The idea is start small. This is one of the most powerful ideas in the entire book. Because many people have a big dream, but they make one common mistake. They think they need to start big. They think, I need a huge plan. I need a lot of money. I need a big team. I need everything before I begin. But Rework teaches us something different. You don't need to start big. You need to start smart. Let's imagine a simple example. Someone wants to open a restaurant. They think, I need a large building. I need many workers. I need an expensive design. I need hundreds of menu items. So they spend a lot of time and money before knowing if people even like their food. This is risky. Instead, a smarter person starts small. Maybe they sell a few dishes. Maybe they start online. Maybe they test their idea first. Then they learn. Then they improve. The first version does not need to be perfect. It only needs to be useful. Because when you start small, you can learn faster. You can understand what works. You can understand what needs improvement. Now let's connect this idea with English learning. Many students make the same mistake. They create a huge goal. I will become fluent in English in 3 months. Then they create a difficult schedule. 5 hours of grammar, hundreds of vocabulary words, long study sessions. After a few days, they become tired. Then they stop. A smarter approach is to start small. For example, day 1, listen to English for 10 minutes. Learn 5 new words. Speak 3 sentences. That's it. It looks small, but small actions repeated every day create big results. Let me give you a simple story. Imagine 2 English learners. Learner A studies for 5 hours on the first day. He feels excited. But after 1 week, he feels tired and quits. Learner B studies for 20 minutes every day. It feels easy. But after 6 months, he has practiced for many hours. He has built a habit. Who will improve more? Usually the person who can continue. This is the power of small beginnings. A small action you repeat is stronger than a big action you cannot maintain. Now, let's talk about business again. Many successful companies started with simple versions. They did not begin with everything. They started with one idea, one customer, one problem, one solution. Then they grew. Growth happens step by step. Think about a tree. A tree does not become big in one day. First, there is a small seed, then a small plant, then a strong tree. The seed looks small, but it has the potential to become something big. Your first step is that seed.
Chapter 5. Planning is guessing. All right, my friends, now let's move to another powerful lesson from the book Rework. The idea is planning is guessing. Now, this idea may sound surprising because we are usually told, make a plan, create a 5-year goal, prepare everything before you start. Planning sounds like the smart thing to do. And yes, planning can be helpful. But Rework teaches us something important. The future is uncertain. You cannot know everything before you begin. Imagine you want to start a YouTube channel. You create a perfect plan. You decide, my first video will get 100,000 views. My audience will love this topic. I will upload every Monday. I will earn money after 6 months. But what happens when you actually start? Maybe people like a different topic. Maybe your audience prefers shorter videos. Maybe your strategy needs to change. Why? Because reality teaches you things that planning cannot. This is why the author says, plans are guesses about the future. The problem is not making a plan. The problem is believing that your plan is always correct.
Let's make it simple. Imagine you want to travel to a new city. You check the map before leaving. The map helps you. But during the journey, you may find a road is closed. Traffic is heavy. You need another route. A smart traveler changes the plan. They don't stop the journey. Business and life work the same way. Now let's connect this idea with English learning. Many students create perfect study plans. They say, from next month, I will study English for 3 hours every day. They create a beautiful schedule, but after 1 week, life changes. They become busy. They miss some days. Then they feel like they failed. A better approach is flexibility. Start with a simple plan. Maybe 10 minutes listening, 5 minutes speaking, 5 minutes vocabulary. Then observe. Ask yourself, is this working? What can I improve? What should I change? Because learning is not a straight road. Sometimes you improve quickly. Sometimes progress feels slow. Sometimes one method works. Sometimes another method works better. The important thing is to keep moving. Vocabulary for today. Uncertain means not known or not sure. Example, the future is uncertain, but we can prepare. Flexible means able to change easily. Example, a flexible plan helps you adapt. Predict means to say what will happen in the future. Example, we cannot predict every result before starting. So, my friends, the lesson from Rework is planning has value, but action creates knowledge. You learn more from doing than from only thinking. Don't spend your whole life preparing for the journey. Start walking, because the road will teach you where to go. Chapter 6. Workaholism is not the answer. All right, my friends, now let's move to another powerful lesson from the book Rework. The idea is workaholism is not the answer. Now, let's understand this word. Workaholism means someone who works too much and believes that more hours always create better results. Many people think, if I work more hours, I will become more successful. If I stay busy all day, I am productive. But Rework challenges this idea. Because being busy does not always mean being effective. Let me explain with a simple example. Imagine two people. Person A works 12 hours every day. They answer every message. They attend many meetings. They do many small tasks, but they don't focus on the most important work. Person B works fewer hours, but they focus deeply. They solve important problems. They create valuable results. Who is more productive? The second person. Because productivity is not about how long you work, it is about what you create.
Let me say that again. Working more is not always working better. The goal is not to spend more time. The goal is to create more value. Now, imagine a person cutting a tree. They work for many hours. They are tired. They keep cutting. But their tool is not sharp. A smart person would stop for a moment and improve the tool. Then the work becomes easier. This idea connects with everything in life. Sometimes we don't need more effort. Sometimes we need a better method. Now, let's connect this idea with English learning. Many learners think, if I study English for 5 hours one day, I will improve quickly. So they study a lot. But they don't create a consistent habit. After a few days, they become tired. Then they stop. A better way is 20 minutes every day. Listen, speak, practice, repeat. Consistency beats intensity.
Complete summary of Rework. All right, my friends, we have reached the final part of our journey through the book Rework by Jason Fried and David Heinemeier Hansson. Before we finish this episode, let's quickly review the biggest lessons we learned from this powerful book. Because the real value of a book is not only reading it, the real value is applying its ideas in our life. Lesson number 1, ignore this advice. We learned that we should not blindly follow traditional rules. Just because everyone does something one way does not mean it is the best way. Think differently. Question old ideas. Find a smarter path. Lesson number 2, start making something. Ideas alone do not create results. Everyone has ideas, but successful people take action. A simple action today is more powerful than a perfect idea that stays in your mind forever. Start. Learn. Improve. Lesson number 3, no one likes plastic flowers. We learned that appearance is not enough. Something can look beautiful from outside, but still have no real value. Focus on creating something useful. Focus on helping people. Real value always wins. Lesson number 4, start small. You don't need a huge beginning. You don't need everything before you start. Small steps create big results. A small habit repeated every day can change your future. Lesson number 5, planning is guessing. Planning is useful, but the future is unpredictable. You learn more by taking action than by only making plans. Start moving, then adjust your direction. Lesson number 6, workaholism is not the answer. Working more hours does not always mean better results. Focus on important work. Be productive, not just busy. Smart work creates better outcomes. Lesson number 7, meetings are toxic. Talking about work is not the same as doing work. Real progress comes from action. Create, test, improve. Now, my friends, think about your own life. Maybe you have been waiting for the perfect moment. Maybe you have been waiting for more money, more knowledge, more confidence. But Rework teaches us something powerful. You don't need everything to begin. You begin, and then you create everything you need along the way. If you want to learn English, start practicing. If you want to create something, start creating. If you have an idea, give it a chance. Because the biggest difference between people who succeed and people who only dream is action. And remember, you don't need a complicated life. You don't need a complicated strategy. Sometimes the simplest path is the most powerful one. Thank you so much for listening to this English learning podcast. I hope this episode helped you improve your English listening skills and also gave you valuable lessons from the book Rework. Keep learning, keep improving, and most importantly, keep taking action. See you in the next episode.